Okay, mathematicians, let's get back to work. Now, before we begin tackling how to solve this problem, I want you to notice the problem. Our problem states, what is 1/8 plus 3 7/8? Okay, it's not a trick question. It wasn't written incorrectly. It's just reversing the order of our items. And so that's something very important we need to notice because we don't want to confuse ourselves and we don't want to think along a different path. It's going to be the same work. We just have to kind of look a little closer at our problem and understand it, right? And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try this out on your own, okay? You can draw it out. You could use number bonds, whatever works for you, okay? This is going to help you think through this problem and make sense of your understanding. So pause the video. Awesome. All right, so now that you're back, you're going to check your response with the work that I'm going to show you. Part of me wants to start with the visual representation first, right? And so in order to start with the visual representation, I'm always going to start with my mixed number. Why do you think that is? It's greater, right? It's greater. We're going to start with our mixed number to then add our fraction, okay? And so, using the tape diagram, I'm going to draw 3 holes. However, is it just 3 holes, friends? No, we have 3 7/8. So as I draw my next tape diagram, keep in mind the number of parts I need to evenly decompose this whole into. And usually, or I should say not usually, always, we need to look at the denominator. That always tells us, well, how many even parts are there? How many parts should we partition our whole into? And so if it's 8, I'm going to draw 4 on this side and 4 on this side, making 8 total parts, right? Now, this is a part where I'm shading. If I had 3, right, these were full. And now if I'm shading 7/8, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. Now, looking at my visual representation, see if yours looks very similar, okay? Or if it's not, see, well, what might have you been thinking, and how can you make those corrections, right? Next, how might I add 1/8 to my already drawn out visual representation? Now, notice that 1/8 is less than a whole and it's only 1/8. So, all I really need to do is shade in an additional unit fraction. And well, together, friends, this is the part where my criteria, it says, notice that it says, write the sum as a mixed number by adding the remaining fraction if necessary. Now, because it didn't go over another whole, then we don't need to add any remaining fractions. It's simply a whole number. So count with me. 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, and 4 wholes. So the sum, truthfully, friends, is as simple as saying that it is 4. It's 4. The answer is 4. Okay? Or the sum is 4. I did want to also show you this using the the number bond. And so rewriting this would look like this. I always like to reverse my fraction. It just helps me organize it a little bit more. Because if I add 3 7/8 plus 1/8, my fraction parts, or the fraction portions are always together, and it just helps me organize my thinking a little bit more. Now again, friends, remember, this is a mixed fraction, this is a fraction, and so I still want to bring over, I want to transfer, right? I want to bring over the sum by including the whole number first. And so because 3 is the whole number, I'm going to rewrite 3, and then all you're doing is adding your numerators, right? So 7 plus 1 is 8. And then try to think to yourself, do you need to add the denominators? Why or why not? Okay? Denominators do not need to be added because all they're representing is the number of equal parts that your whole has. Okay, so we don't add the denominator. And so we're just rewriting the denominator as is. Now, because our sum is a mixed number, however, our numerators are the same as my denominator, what does that mean to you? What does it mean when a numerator is the same as a denominator? Okay, we reviewed it in our first video. Yep, that they are, or that it is the same thing as 1 whole. And so in this case, 3 wholes plus 1 whole equals to 4, right? Which is the same thing. Alrighty, friends. Well, that sums our math learning for today. I look forward to seeing you during our hangout.